Hi everybody, thanks once again for tuning in to the Denison Sports Network. I'm Craig Hicks. Today I am pleased to be joined by Peter Burling, the Denison head men's and women's tennis coach, and we are going to get into the season. They're heading into the bulk of their spring season. Really, tennis is one of those where you start in the fall, you stop, pick back up, play some indoor, and now you're finally getting ready to head outside. You're going to California soon, and so let's start with the men's team if we could.
Sure.
Off to a 2-4 start, but you've won 2 games in a row against some good opponents, Stevens Institute and also Kalamazoo last weekend. You're ranked in the top 30 in the nation. Can you just give me a little overview of where the team's at as you head to California?
Sure, Craig, thanks. The losses were against 4 very tough teams. What I think we've taken as a real positive early on is after losing 2 tough matches down in Virginia 2 weekends ago, the guys showed great resilience, came back at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning and beat a very, very tough Stevens Institute team. And then followed it up this weekend with a solid win against Kalamazoo. There are things that are not in place and we're working on them continually, but we hope to move forward with a little bit of momentum.
Coach, you've got 3 seniors on this team, Casey Sempre, Grant Beltman, Jeff LaDuca. They've played a lot of matches for you over their career, so you've got real stable leadership, it seems, at the top. And how helpful is that as you're bringing in younger players into the lineup?
Well, every year, leadership that's in place has to be developed over time, but it can't be measured when it's good, and it's really good with these 3. They're great leaders on the court. Jeffrey LaDuca is always yelling, "Let's go Red." Grant Beltman, Casey Sempre, always charging up the guys, but off the court as well. As you know, we're dealing with college students here and young kids, and they've just been terrific. I don't think it can be measured.
Now we flip over to the women's team.
Okay.
You know, you're ranked 28th in the nation. You're 2-1. You've got a bunch of matches left against some ranked opponents. You play a really tough schedule on the women's side, and also on the men's. So what are some of your hopes for as this season moves on for the women's team?
Well, we're an older but younger team. We added a lot of youngsters to the team this year, and we've become a whole lot deeper. Losing Kelsey Gepner last year was a big loss, but it was one player, and we feel we've gotten stronger. Not only at the bottom of the lineup, but near the top of the lineup. We're still trying to figure things out, but with so many good players, we can move pieces around right now. I think California is going to tell a lot because we're going outside, and that's going to be a whole different scene with sun and wind and heat. I think that'll tell a lot, actually, for both teams.
Well, sure. And now you've got some experience coming back and 3 all-conference players, Taylor Hawkins, Meg Chiumento, also Emily Holloway. Can you just talk a little bit about those 3 and how their games have improved over the last year?
Sure. I think they sit back with a smile now as we get these youngsters doing what they had to do as first-year players and second-year players. They're a lot more businesslike now about working on the uncomfortable parts of the game. They all came in with great resumes, but that was junior tennis. And in college tennis, you have to have plan A, plan B, you have to know how to slice the ball, you have to know how to play doubles, and all of those things they've really embraced. And they're passing that urgency on to the younger kids to do as well.
I think there's one other player that is also passing that on, and Heather Absug, your only senior on the team. I know you want to speak a little bit about her.
I can't say enough about Heather. Great resilience, not always the big star on the team, sometimes not in the lineup, but always scratching and clawing to get into the lineup and to get better. And I think if you asked Heather right now where she is at as a tennis player, she'd tell you that she's miles ahead of when she came in. But her greatest role, although she is a starter right now, and that's important, is as the leader of the team this year, and I couldn't be more pleased, and the coaches feel the same way too.
Well, I want to go a little bit off topic here, but not entirely, because I really do feel like coaching obviously is all about relationships, and you've been in it a long time, and you've come through and you've had tons of kids play for you, but you recently got some good news, and one of your former players was recently named the head women's soccer coach at Princeton. Could you tell me a little bit about Sean Driscoll?
Yeah, This is my 25th year, and there are lots of men and women who have all sorts of stories. But you're right, Craig, the relationships we build over time and while they're here, we hope that they last. And Sean came in, and he was going to be the last guy cut on the tennis team in 1990, I believe. And he literally begged me to be on the team. He said, I'll be a great team member, I'll be supportive, and I'll work my hardest. And he was absolutely all of those things. He didn't always win the big matches, but he always had his hand in getting us better. And so I can't be prouder. I've followed his development as a soccer coach for years. We've stayed in contact. I was at his wedding a few years ago. He's a great young man, and I just couldn't be happier. And I know the guys on his team are super happy about Sean.
Well, Coach, again, I'd like to thank you for joining me today. I know we're all excited to see the team when they come back. I know the men's team, they will have 5 home matches through March, April into May. The women have 6, so there's plenty of opportunities for you to come out and watch the Big Red tennis teams play here in Granville. If you want to check the schedule, all you need to do is go to DenisonBigRed.com, find the men's and women's tennis pages on the drop-down menu, and the schedule will be right there. So we hope that you make it out this year to cheer on the Big Red tennis team. So for Peter Burling, I'm Craig Hicks. Thanks for joining us on Denison Sports Network.